It's Tuesday, September 13th from the Blanco Lirio Mobile Command Post here at Reno Stead, Reno National Championship Air Races. It's time for a quick mosquito fire update. Things are looking pretty good on the mosquito fire right now. Let's go inside the command post and I'll show you what's going on. Starting off here at Ubinet this morning, that's meant to be a comma, 49,000, call it 50,000 acres. Now remember, a lot of this acreage burned includes back burn operations on behalf of CAL FIRE and the Forest Service. 18% containment, that's a big jump, great progress being made on containment. They're still not expecting containment until a month from now, but it's all going to be based on the weather. 2,675 folks working the fire, confirmed 46 structures destroyed at this time. We've got a few light rain showers here at Reno Stead this morning, but the skies are relatively clear and smoke-free. And back on the fire line, they're getting some clear skies as well. Of course, this would be on the upwind side or the west side of the fire, and over here at Stead, we're well downwind, way downwind of the fire. Here's a current map of the fire as it looks right now, north facing up. Foresthill up in this direction has been saved. That fire bumped right up to the edge of the town of Foresthill, but right now it's looking good. Still over 5,000 people are evacuated from a wide area around this fire. They lost some structures down along in here. They lost some structures up there in Michigan Bluff. But this side of the fire, the windward side of the fire, is looking pretty good. We'll talk about the terrain here in a minute, but generally in the afternoon the winds are going to be from the southwest this way, and so it's going to be tending to push the fire up the canyons along what they call the head of the fire, the two heads of the fire, up over here. So looking at the big picture on the Google map, this is the Middle Fork American River country. Up here is the North Fork of the American River, and down here is the South Fork of the American River. There's Coloma where gold was discovered, but this fire is working through the various forks of the Middle Fork of the American River. Very steep terrain. It's basically a 2,000 foot drop into these canyons, and this fire is burning out all of this fuel in here, this very, very dry, historically dry fuel inside of this canyon. There's not a whole lot you can do fighting fires down inside the canyon. They have to let it burn up to the edge of the canyon where they can make a stand and put this thing out. But up in here is going to be a challenge. How are you going to draw this line? And if we look at the satellite view, come on satellite view, what firefighters are talking about, here's the Middle Fork Canyon. There are two major fire scars that this is going to burn into. Here's the King Fire of the Rubicon River Fire from several years ago, and here's a fire scar over here, right over here, from the American Fire. So there's this huge island of unburned fuel that has not burned in years that's going to be a concern for firefighters as these winds continue to pick up from the southwest. But the last couple of nights have been very still air, and the fire laid down real nicely, and so firefighters were able to make a lot of progress on several different fronts of this fire. But it's going to be this concern blowing out to the east along the head of the fire that's going to be of a concern. And of course, eventually as it heads up in higher and higher terrain, it'll eventually hit granite. Before the remnants of Hurricane K came along, this fire formed a huge pyrocumulus cloud, and which eventually turned into a pyrocumulonimbus cloud. That's where all this heat from all this extremely dry timber, again, this is not necessarily a wind-driven fire, it's just been a fuel-driven fire deep down in that canyon. All that fuel burning off so explosively forms what looks like a nuclear explosion as this heat rises up into the atmosphere, hits the freezing level, then you see this kind of flattening of the cloud, and then the pyrocumulonimbus part of the cloud above the freezing level, where you get, of course, extreme turbulence. You can create your own thunderstorms and your own weather from that nimbus cloud overhead. And that topped over 40,000 feet on this fire. But now that the Hurricane K remnants have come over the fire, it's settled it down, it's put a lid on the pot, so to speak, and just formed that big inversion layer where the smoke got really bad. They couldn't do anything with the air attack. but that helped lay this fire down. Now they're looking at a forecast where there's going to be some mixing of the atmosphere, and there may be some additional fire activity as the atmosphere begins to mix during the afternoon today. They're just now beginning to map the loss of the structures through ArcGIS here, and the structures in red are the ones that are destroyed. And as you zoom in, you'll see it's the structures that are right on the edge of the canyon walls that get whacked. And then they're making a good stand at the roads, the various roads along the edge of the canyon walls, and saving many of the structures. But those that are on the edge are in danger of being lost due to the fire. So here you'll see a lot of retardant work along these roads here along the top of the ridge, whether it's Chicken Hawk Ridge or the Foresthill Divide Road. Lots of retardant laid in up there, stopping the fire from coming up out of the canyon. But it's this continued push up the canyon that's going to continue to be a problem, especially here in the middle of the head of this fire as we get into that unburned fuel with the southwest winds. So good visibility here at Reno Stead this morning. That's Peavine Mountain right over there where the Unlimiteds come around to enter the race course. The rest of the course being out there. So should be good visibility for air racing. The smoke plumes have been moving in here, especially in the evenings, and they can temporarily make the field IFR, or too low visibility to fly. But so far so good, looks good. I got to get back to air racing. Thanks for your support. See you here.